What's up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health, fitness, social well-being. You guys just saw a clip from yesterday's SPD Intensity Day. It was the last SPD Intensity Day of this block. Huge PR of 430 pounds for a double at RPE 7. Now, the one thing I will say that I was not happy about was that after watching it over and over and over again and pausing it over and over again and getting different opinions, stuff like that, I mean, I already knew for a fact that my second rep was definitely higher than my first rep, but I kept trying to make sure, was it still below parallel? And from looking at it, it looks like it could kind of go either way, and I'm not about that. I'm not about leaving anything to chance, because when it comes to being at a meet, you never know how the judges are going to feel about something. So I'm all about making sure that I hit depth and don't leave anything to chance as far as that. And the thing is, I know the reason it happens because I got too overhyped, in the sense of the first rep moved so well to where I just got so hyped and so anxious. I didn't take enough time on the second rep to just fully tension myself into the hole. I kind of just got down there, kind of blasted back up. And the thing is, it honestly would have moved even better if I would have just taken more time with this. So it happens. It's to be expected sometimes when you're just getting really into it, but live and learn. I'm gonna still happy with the PR because that's just huge for me. You guys know that I think the most I've ever hit for a double was 400 and 25 pounds, and that was back during the Cali trip, and that was a hard RP 9. So to hit 430 for a double at 7 is just awesome. Great way to kind of end the block. Now today technically is the last day of the block, and all it is just it's just kind of my accessory day that follows my SPD Intensity Day. So it's just some light Larson press and then some accessory movements. So I'll be taking you guys through that workout today. It's kind of even more tapered than usual as far as the Larson press. Last week was a top set of 9 on Larson press at RP8, and I ended up hitting 225 pounds. So today, since it's the last day of the block, to kind of just have an easy transition from yesterday's heavy work into the new block, which starts on Tuesday. It's just it's top set of 9 at RP5, so it's probably I'm probably gonna hit something 200, 205 pounds, something like that, and then go through my accessory work. But as I'm working out, as I told you guys in the last training video, I'm gonna just be talking to you guys about different things. I'm pretty much gonna be hitting a topic relating to health. I'm gonna hit a topic relating to fitness, and then hit a topic related to social well-being, just kind of keep the emphasis of what this channel's about going, and not just, I don't want it to be, even when I'm just working out, I don't want it to be just you guys just see me work out. I want you guys to take something from it. And then, more of the usual informative content where I just, break a topic down for you guys will be coming. Just been doing a lot of stuff. Kingdom Hearts 3 is beaten, that's done, so that's not what I mean when I say doing a lot of stuff. Busy with other things that have been happening as far as client work and just different things that I'm working on, but I'm really excited about all of that. Anyway, let's head to the gym. Alright guys. Oh yeah, right? I'm interrogating myself. Where are the steroids? We know you're on SARMs. Nah. Alright, anyway guys, so y'all saw Larson press, quick, easy, just 205 pounds for my top set of 9 at RP5. So next will be my accessory work. But the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is going to be related to health, and that's simply going to be cover your basics, man. Everybody, I think people forget that the base building blocks of anything, if you're building a building, after you lay down the base foundation, you build upon that. You don't do away with that base foundation, because even if you get to a certain point where you're just building and building, if you get to a point where you're oh, I'm done with the basics, and you take away that base foundation, the whole thing topples over. People get so caught up in, oh, what supplement can I use? What adjustments can I make to my programming? They want to do all this quote-unquote research. I use that term very loosely because that term's just kind of thrown around now, like for like, oh, I Googled one article and I think I'm a master of this topic, or I watched this one biased YouTuber who's for like, you know, the keto diet, the vegan diet, whatever it may be, because they have some either agenda, financial, or some emotional connection to their diet, so they feel like it has to be for the best for everyone. And it's like, that's not real research, but it's like, you don't need research to tell you like the basic things that you need to understand, guys. Things like, hey, are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough sleep? There's so many people, and I'm not talking about like, you know, you have kids, you have a crazy work schedule where, you know, you can only get like 6-7 hours of sleep. I understand that, but there's so many people where they don't prioritize things. You're up late watching Netflix or playing a video game or whatever. And it's okay if you're up late if you're gonna be waking up later, but the point is so many of you aren't getting like your even 8 hours of sleep. Why? Because you're not prioritizing it the way you should. It's like I said, it's different if you just don't have the time, but things like get enough sleep, drinking enough water, like, hey, maybe instead of getting a soda with your meal, drink some water. And then things like your nutrition, guys. Like I said, all these fad diets, all these trends out here, you have to understand. Unfortunately, this is even being generous. 90% of the YouTubers that you guys probably watch and see don't actually care about you or care about your health or well-being. They're just trying to sell you something or promote something that they're about, right? So understand a lot of people who say, oh, this diet's the best, and they show you these studies, they're either cherry picking these studies or they're being biased with the sources that they pick and utilize because they're trying to get you to do things their way instead of trying to truly help you find what works best for you. But basic things like nutrition, guys, here's the reality. Like, any diet that is an extreme, that in the sense of it takes away a major food group or overly promotes another food group, isn't a balanced diet. And I'm not saying that the American diet is balanced, because obviously that's not. Like, for example, a lot of people do eat too much red meat. That's something that I actually agree with vegans on. But the idea of cutting out animal products altogether, I understand if you're doing it because you have some type of moral dilemma where you feel like that's the right thing to do, that's fine. But when they try to like cherry pick studies and cite things in the sense of, oh, this is for your health, this is most optimal, and they like take correlations and try to treat it as causations, that's not the case. You want a well-balanced diet. In actuality, if you're tracking your calories, guys, and you're tracking your macros, and you're within the correct number ranges for your macros, you know, 20 to 30% of your calories coming from fats, 0.8 to 1 grams per pound for protein, and the rest being carbs, you're already eating healthier than what your average American does, just from that alone. On top of that, make sure you're getting your micronutrients in. The basics, fruits, vegetables. And honestly, any diet where you have to supplement something isn't a very good balanced diet. I don't have to take any supplements for anything. I'm not deficient in anything because I make sure that, yes, I track calories, I track macros, but I also make sure that I'm getting my micronutrition in. Even if it's something like, you know, making a smoothie and make sure you're getting those essential, like, you know, vitamins and minerals that you, and micronutrients that you need, it's really not as complex as what people try to make it. But the thing is, you have to make it complex because then it's something to sell. And you guys know who've been watching me from day one, like my channel, like from 2 years ago when I started, that's what people are about in this industry, trying to sell you something. I'm just trying to give you the straight facts, man. It's not as complex as what people make it. Losing weight is about being caloric deficit, gaining weight and building muscle about being caloric surplus. And these different diet tips that people give you, that's more to help you psychologically. It doesn't make or break you as far as the physiological processes of weight gain or weight loss. That's just more so about, you know, finding what works for you from a psychological perspective. If you're someone where you like to meal prep and kind of eat the same thing over and over because it just helps you psychologically, do it. If you're someone where you like to eat out more and you just use my fitness powder track, do it. But don't make this stuff more complicated than what it is, and just stick to the basics. You don't need a study to tell you the importance of a well-balanced meal. You don't need a study to tell you the importance of sleeping more. That's with anything, training or anything outside of that. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. You don't need a study to tell you that drinking water is important. So, yeah, that's my tip for health, guys. It's just keep it simple, right? Like, it's not that complex. Anyway, let's get to the next movement.
Alright guys, so next thing I want to talk to you about is going to be specific to the topic of fitness, and that is to, which works out perfectly, right? Be specific with your training. Now, when I say that, you guys know in the past I've talked about the importance of, like, you know, specificity based upon what you're trying to do, right? Like, there may be 5 different ways to go about achieving whatever your specific fitness goal is. And you guys know that I'm personally of the mindset that if you're really trying to, like, reach that goal as quickly and efficiently as possible, then go with the most optimal way. Unless the most optimal way is just something you absolutely hate and don't enjoy, then go one of the other avenues. But just make sure it's an avenue that actually works. You guys know that very often people do things that aren't actually beneficial for their goals, sometimes even counterproductive. But beyond that, when I say be specific, I mean understand, guys, that you can only work on so many things at once. There's so many people, especially newer lifters and those who are maybe new to the channel, and I can tell by your questions where you kind of want it all. Like, I'll give you a classic example. There was one subscriber, and this isn't shade to this guy at all. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's been asking questions a lot consistently, and I like that. I like that he asks questions that he thinks and that he's engaging. But the 2 things that he has to be aware of, based upon this example I'm about to give, is he was trying to figure out, like, hey man, it seems like I'm getting to a point where I can't really progress well on my bench and overhead press at the same time. What can I do about that? What can I do to fix that? And you simply have to understand that you can't always do that. Like the bench press and the overhead press utilize a lot of the same muscle groups, and more often than not, as a beginner, yeah, you kind of can progress on both. And he thought it was because, oh, when I was on this specific split, I was able to progress on both. Now I'm on this other split that's more frequency. I don't think I'm progressing as well on it. When in actuality, he is, because he's doing more total workload. But the reality is, you're not a beginner anymore, or at least you're not as much a beginner as what you were. You're getting stronger, so it's more total workload to recover from. Therefore, it's going to be harder to recover from doing like heavy bench and heavy overhead press and progress on both of them equally. In general, your bench tends to move progressively faster than the overhead press anyway, just because the bench has more pec involvement, right? Whereas the overhead press has less. Still works the delts and the triceps like the bench, but has less overall pec involvement, except for kind of like, you know, some upper pec action that you're getting if you come all the way below the chin. But the point is, you can't always have it all. Sometimes, guys, if you're focused on getting through a cut, even though, yes, you guys know that I'm all about you can maintain and in some cases even build strength while cutting, oftentimes you're not going to be able to maximize your strength potential when you're cutting. But you got to focus. Are you focusing on your body composition right now? Or are you focused on building muscle and building more strength? Because you're going to have to be in a surplus or a deficit. You can't have it all more often than not. Do you want to get stronger on your bench right now? Do you want to get stronger on your squats? Use myself as an example. You guys noticed I don't do as much heavy weighted pull-ups as much anymore. I still do them in the off season when it's adequate for my accessory work, but as far as like weighted dips, you guys haven't seen me do weighted dips since I started training under Brendan. That's because I made the decision that I really want to prioritize powerlifting right now and really get stronger on the big 3. And it's really hard for me to push my bench as hard as I am if I'm doing even more workload on the muscle groups involved with heavy weighted dips and like doing dips with 200 pounds, right? And with the weighted pull-ups, like your back is used in all the big 3. So if I keep trying to push my weighted pull-up to be my best of a 200-pound weighted pull-up, I'm gonna have to do so much work on my back that's gonna tire me and fatigue me for things like my bench, my squat, my deadlift. So it's understanding that you can't have it all at once. If I decide that I wanna get those movements back involved, I have to accept that my bench, squat, and deadlift may take like a hit, or they may have to be on the back seat for a little bit while I do that. And that's okay, guys. That's kind of what makes this fun. It would be boring if you just get all at once. It's kind of fun that you have to like work on different aspects of fitness at a time based upon what you're trying to do and what you're trying to get better at. But yeah, that's my advice for fitness. Is a social well-being related topic, and guys, that's simply to enjoy your training without letting it consume everything you are and let it be all you're about. Keep in mind, this is coming from somebody where I make my living as a whole from the gym, from fitness. I'm a full-time coach, full-time personal trainer, you know, both in person and online. And despite that, despite doing all these YouTube videos, despite loving training, being passionate about it, and understanding the importance of, hey, if you want to get better at something, It's going to take certain sacrifices. You're going to have to be disciplined in certain areas. Regardless of all of that, which is true, it's not all I'm about. I have other things that I care about, other things that I value. My friends, my family, my fiance, who's recording this ending clip for me right now. I appreciate you, babe. And those things matter so much more. Having an impact on others, having an impact on you guys. Like, that's the thing you have to understand. Now, I'm not talking about the videos where I'm just sitting and talking to you, but like videos like this where I'm training, it's so much easier on me if I just come in, kill the workout, and go home. This day is actually usually pretty short. I'm usually done an hour, and it's taking me longer because I'm doing this, because I enjoy knowing that I have impact on somebody. If only one of you, even two of you, watch this video and you get something from it, then that makes me feel good because I'm having a long-lasting impact on you guys, and that matters so much more. In my opinion, means so much more and holds so much more value than something like what my bench max is. You know what I mean? Not that I don't care about that. I'm a powerlifter. Of course I care about my total list, but that can't be all you're about. And then don't deal with the whole paralysis by analysis. Some of you guys, you aren't asking questions to just get clear on something. You want to know the answer to every little detail, every specific thing. Try to make the perfect plan. There is no perfect plan. Just start. Go in there, enjoy it. If you guys consistently watch my channel, I promise, I'm not being arrogant, but you're in a much better position than most people when they first start training, especially like from the time when I started training and people before me, where this type of information wasn't even available, when YouTube wasn't even a thing. But don't get so caught up in trying to get every little perfect answer where you can't just go and enjoy your workout because you're so stressed over every little perfect detail. Yes, ask good questions. Try to find what's optimal for your goals, but even then, don't be so obsessed with your goals to where you're stressing yourself out, because that takes the whole point of this. Is supposed to be about being about health and fitness. Like, it's different when you're going to extremes like, you know, competitive bodybuilding, competitive powerlifting. Obviously, that's more about being competitive than necessarily like just your average health and fitness. But a lot of people watching this aren't even into that. Like maybe you just want to be aesthetic, maybe you want to be strong, but you're not trying to be like the best powerlifter or the best bodybuilder. So just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. I hope that these topics were useful to you guys. I tried to cover things that I feel a lot of the new subscribers maybe haven't heard from some of my older videos, and it's something that a lot of you old school subscribers probably should be reminded on. But that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did. If you're not, leave a comment down below. Let me know what I can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.